Hello artists, today we're going to start our Lino Block or Lino Cut prints. I hope you're ready. Here are the tools that we're going to need. We're going to need a bench hook, some carving tools, a brayer, printing block, printing ink, and some paper. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to take a piece of paper, it's the same size as my printing block, and I'm going to cut into it and make a simple shape. I'm going to use a heart. You do not need to use a heart, but whatever you do, you want it to be a fairly simple shape to start with. It's going to get more complex later, trust me. So I'm going to trace my heart onto the Lino block, and then I'm going to use one of the cutting tools to carve away. You'll notice each carving tool has a different shaped blade, so it will make different types of marks when you're carving with them. I'm using the square one right now. It gives you a nice flat, wide line. So I'm going to start by tracing the outside of my shape. Notice when I get to the corner, I turn the block so that I'm not carving towards my hand. Your hand always needs to stay behind your block. And you'll notice I'm sort of holding it in place with my left hand. That's what you need to do. Now I'm going to carve away the background here. You don't necessarily have to do that. You could add stripes or pattern of some sort into your background, but for now I'm going to carve away most of the background. I'm going to do a crayon rubbing that lets me see exactly what my print might look like, and it also lets me see if there's some places that are too high that I need to sort of trim up, and that's what I'm doing now. Just trying to take a little more off that background. All right, it's time to get out our brayer, and we also need to have our printing ink. Now we're going to use 3 different colors of printing ink. Black will be the last color that we use. We need to start with the lightest color first. In this case, I'm going to use some yellow. So I put the ink on my bench hook and I get my brayer out and I roll my brayer into the ink. I hope it makes that nice squishy sound. That means it's the right consistency. And then I'm going to roll it over my printing block. All right, now we're going to make multiple prints on one piece of paper. So I need to mark the corners of my printing block so that later I can line up my prints on top of it. When you're using the brayer to press down on the paper, be really careful that it doesn't move your printing block or it'll smudge your work. All right, so now I'm going to add some more intricate designs to my work. I'm going to add, coming in a polka dot mood, so I'm going to add some circles and dots to my heart. And then I'm going to carve away everything that I want to stay yellow. Okay, so if you want that shape or that pattern or design or line to be yellow, you need to cut it away. And again, notice that when I get to a point where it looks like I'm going to start carving towards my hand, I turn the block. All right, so we carve away everything we want yellow. And then I'm going to add some blue. We might use different colors. This is just what I happen to have handy that day. And so I'm going to ink up my brayer again and then my printing plate. All right. Now, again, I need to make sure I line that up with the pencil lines that I had. So let's see if I can do it. It's a little bit tricky, but I think I can do it. I think I did it. Okay, and make sure you hold that plate in place when you put the brayer on top because you don't want it to smudge. All right, that looks pretty cool, but we're gonna do one more color. We're gonna use black. So that means that everything that I want to stay turquoise needs to be cut away. All right? So remember, everything that's yellow will still stay yellow, but now it's time to keep that beautiful turquoise color intact in our work. All right. Sometimes the carving tool gets a little stuck. You need to make sure that the 2 points of the carving tool are always above the surface of the carving block. Otherwise, it can get kind of stuck inside. All right, you'll notice I'm carving away a lot this time because I don't want the whole heart to be black. So I want the black just to sort of be an outline. So let's again ink up our brayer and ink up our printing plate, and then we need to line it up with those pencil marks again. All right, again, be careful that you don't move that printing block, and look at that. I love it. Yay, it's turning out just as I expected it to. So again, you're going to ink up your plate and then print on the other shapes that you have done. And when you are finished, you will have this beautiful 3-colored print. This is called a reduction print because we keep reducing the printing plate. We keep carving into it and carving more and more away from it. And there we have it. All right, now here's some other samples that other students have done. Here is a flower, Then there's a heart and an elephant. You'll see that in a second. When you're working on this project, really work hard at being safe, being kind, and being responsible. I hope you love this project. I know it's going to turn out great. All right, go forth and be brilliant.